Hey, welcome to the first episode of Super Awesome House Rule Time with me, Doug, and this is for We Heart Nerds, an awesome website that you should all go check out at weheartnerdstv. We're, believe it or not, going to be talking about house rules, and the first one I wanted to talk about is Monopoly, because it's one of the most sold games, not necessarily the most popular games out there. And talk about a few common house rules with that, and then some fun ones that I found that are not common. So the most common house rules for Monopoly are the free parking rule, where any luxury tax or fines you have to pay go into the center, and when you land on free parking, you get to pick up that money. Most people don't realize that's a house rule and have played with that most of their time playing Monopoly. Another house rule that people have been playing with a lot without realizing it is selling properties off when you don't buy them after landing on them. In the rules, you're actually supposed to auction stuff off after landing on it if you don't buy it. A lot of people don't do that and just either choose to buy it or not and then move on. Lastly, I wanted to talk about three big variations, possibly two big variations on Monopoly. The first one is what I call interdimensional Monopoly. And in that you grab as many boards as you want, ones preferably that are easy to roll a d6 on, which is a six-sided dice. So 2, 3, 6 all work really well. After scrounging around we could only come up with 4, but preferably 3 or 6 works the best. Whenever you hit go in interdimensional Monopoly, instead of just continuing on, you roll a dice and move to a different board, or the same one, depending on what you roll. So for three boards, you would, on 1 to 2, you'd stay where you're at. 3 to 4, you'd move clockwise 1. 5 or 6, you'd move clockwise 2. If you had 2, you would just odds and evens, however the players want to distribute it. But it adds a lot to the game. You can either keep all the money the same, use all the same denominations, everybody gets the same starting money, or come up with exchange rates between the universes. And that's something that as a play group you should decide on. It will drastically increase the length of Monopoly. I think the last time I played it this way it was about a week long, with a lot of breaks. I also want to talk about the buy-in version of Monopoly, which a friend of mine told me about, and in that one everybody kicks 10 or 20 bucks in, and you can either use that as the actual money in the game, if you do the math and make sure you've got enough to cover everything, or just whoever wins gets it all. The third variation I wanted to talk about is another decent-sized change in Monopoly. Instead of moving and buying as you go, when you start the game, everybody takes the money, their starting money, and you start at go and work your way around the board clockwise and auction every individual piece of property off. This adds an interesting mechanic to the board because everybody will get a chance to bid on everything, and they don't have to worry about whether someone's going to beat them to landing on the square and having to worry about a bidding war. Then they can plan their bids out around the board. So some people might save their money for Boardwalk and Park Place, thinking it's going to be a big bidding war, and end up with no one caring because they spent their money already. Or it might happen the other way around. People might pass a lot on the early stuff, and you might get some amazing deals early on. So, hopefully you enjoyed us talking briefly about Monopoly. Next video we'll be talking about Elder Sign. If you want to leave a comment or video comment with cool house rules you've done, we'll be looking through our comments and picking some of our favorites to talk about in a later episode. Thanks for watching.